Well, we're back at it again with another episode of Deep Space Nine. I don't think it could really get worse, but let's just hope it's not as bad.
As others have said in the patron takes, it's only up from here. And do not judge all of Deep Space Nine based on that one episode, because it might literally be the worst. So,
I hope it is. The fuck is that guy?
oh my god, is that like the Ferengi leader?
It might be.
There's an Andorian freighter due in for a maintenance check tomorrow night.
An Andorian freighter.
Swear to God, if we don't see an Andorian.
You would rather hang around a cargo bay with Nog than visit the Bajoran fire caverns with the old man.
Yeah, that's sad. I was the same way. I think most kids are.
Yeah, I didn't have the chance to turn my dad down.
I thought it was your wife. Get it? Wife?
I'm Krax, and this is my father, Grand Nagus Zek.
Oh!
Tell me, is the Grand Nagus here on business or pleasure?
His ear hair coming out.
5 programs that rank among my personal favorites.
The Nagus has decided to try all 5.
Looks like a nutsack. Okay.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh! Thank fucking God. Substitute teacher?
We only have 2 more weeks to get through before Mrs. O'Brien returns from Earth, so that shouldn't be too difficult.
Of course, his wife opens the school, then leaves, so he's stuck with it.
I don't have my essay.
Why not?
My pad was stolen. Ask Jake. He was with me.
Ooh, and your buddy's got a lie for you.
I guess so.
You guess so. All right. But I want that essay in tomorrow.
All I'm asking is give me one more day.
Asks for a year, asks for a week.
Just give me one more day. That was definitely me in school, except I wouldn't make up the lie. I would just say I didn't do it.
Good program.
I'm starting to think this guy didn't speak.
If he were my son, I'd find a friend for him other than Nog.
I'm afraid that's easier said than done.
I'd find a way to separate them, sir.
Ooh. Look at the veins in his head.
Oh, yeah.
My compliments, Quark.
Nog, I never want you to step foot in there again.
Ah.
Now go to your room, and no studying.
Quark, I've come to ask a favor of you. I need your bar.
This guy is definitely somebody, right? Like, his voice is very familiar. He's that guy.
I'm thinking, is it the guy from Princess
Bride
Yeah.
guy, right? It's got to be him.
You know, Ferengis are known for their, nasally voices. It's funny that, like, the leader of them has the most nasally voice of all.
Yeah, it's good casting.
Gentlemen, be seated.
Gotta give credit to the makeup guys for putting all these people in Ferengi costumes. Couldn't have been easy to do, what 10, 12 heads?
The Gamma Quadrant, gentlemen. The potential for Ferengi business expansion is staggering. Best of all, no one there has ever heard the name Ferengi. Our word can be our bond until we decide to break it.
That's pretty funny.
And who shall lead us in this great endeavor? Who else but my father? The Nagus. The Grand Nagus!
Oh, he's gonna choose Quark, isn't he?
I've already chosen my successor. Quark! Wow!
Yep.
He's a loveless amateur.
Father, have you lost your mind? I won't stand this.
It should have been me, your son. I'm owed it because of my bloodline.
Nepo baby my ass.
Congratulations. I know you'll do a wonderful job.
What if he just died right there? The Ferengi naturally dies after naming his successor.
Because once they cannot earn profit anymore, they're worthless.
And their bodies shut down.
How about after school we play a little baseball?
I can't. I have something to do.
Damn, every time Cisco tries to do something with this kid. Nope.
That's teenagers, man.
I am Grawl, your new best friend.
You wish to serve me?
I wish to protect you.
For a fee.
Which would you choose, Risa or Bella's niece?
Oh, not Risa.
My vacation! My first in 85 years.
What do you do?
Jesus.
Grawl just threatened my life.
So he's the first, is he? Well, he won't be the last.
Also, how long do they live? You said 85 years.
Go on.
Come on, man. You've been running the bar. You can run the...
Zach?
Oh, my God.
Zach?
Literally no retirement.
He just died.
He's just fucking dead.
He just died instantly. He didn't even get to go on his trip.
That's terrible. At least he had some fun in the Hollow Suite, I guess. That sucks.
Since you'll be so busy being Grand Nagus, I could take over running the bar.
What's this?
My piece of Zach.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Everyone gets a bit of the ashes, huh?
but you gotta pay.
Can you imagine selling your ashes after you die? Or someone selling your ashes?
Wouldn't be the worst thing.
There's probably celebrities that do that, huh?
Yeah.
Someone would buy Elvis's ashes. First assassination attempt already.
His greed has saved his life. Fuck. That's what he's thinking.
Now look here, Quark.
Grand Nagus Quack.
I guess I got kind of busy doing stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Nothing important, just hanging around.
With Nog?
Look, Dad, we just smoked a bowl, all right?
I know you did it as a kid, but that was different.
Introduce synthahol to the Gamma Quadrant. A very lucrative opportunity.
What is that thing? Is that the thing from TNG? In that episode with Alexander? You know what episode I'm talking about? Where the animals and
Yeah,
then it
yeah,
blows
and the
up
fi-
or
yeah, the
whatever?
fire hap- yeah.
That's what it looks like that is.
I think I'll head over to the bar and check the receipts.
Yes, Nagus.
He's literally the Godfather.
We'll just have to come up with a new plan. Something more reliable than a locator bomb.
Okay, so it was them.
His own brother.
Going through my own adolescence was difficult enough. Surviving my sons is going to take a miracle.
Maybe it's time you had a little talk with Jake.
That's not very sanitary.
Yeah, no.
I've been a mother 3 times and a father twice.
Oh!
Actually, I wasn't very successful either way.
Are your kids alive?
What happens when you have a kid and you're a trill?
I would go find Jake and bring him here to eat his dinner.
I'm assuming that they know you're a trill, so like when your body dies and you get a new one, do they still a part of your life? Or you just drop that lore with no explanation?
Does the kid have a worm of its own inside, a trill of its own? Or is...
I would assume not unless it makes that choice. In which case you would outlast the kid. That did look like good stew.
It did, yeah. Oh, I was teaching him to read.
Dude, what if you walked in and they were just having sex?
You fucking sicko.
You got it! Keep going, keep going.
What the hell's going on here?
So is it like he's teaching him since he can't go to school, basically?
Yeah, yeah.
Quark,
What now?
about the bar.
Good mirror shot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not keep our new partners waiting.
Alright, shut up.
You guys are tipping his hand too much. Poor Odo here is just on the wrong trail.
Oh, finally!
It's been a bit. Nice.
He didn't turn into anything though, but still cool.
But still, practical use.
Yeah.
Just gonna blow him out in space.
Release him!
What?
Oh, well, didn't see that coming.
Well, Pork, looks like you needed my help after all.
Why, Father?
It was a test to see if you were ready to take my place. And you failed.
Who'd they turn into dust?
You don't grab power. You accumulate it quietly without anyone noticing.
Why is he holding this guy's arm?
Because he doesn't have his cane, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Go back to the ship. We'll be leaving here shortly.
Yes, Father.
It's like talking to a Klingon.
What? Okay, what about Quark? Isn't he kind of like, hey, wait a minute, what about me? I mean, he did save its life, I guess.
So the whole thing was a test for his son. He was never going to make him Grand Nagus.
So, Ron, you were going to toss me out an airlock. I didn't think you had the lobes. Such wonderful treachery deserves a reward.
You're a great boy. You know that? Now go be with your friend.
Because he found out Nog's not the bad influence on Jake. Jake is the good influence on Nog. W Dad Cisco.
Yeah. But I still don't want you hanging around with Nog.
We just watched The Nagus, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to go first with my whiteboard, and I thought this was a painful C. I don't think this episode is bad, but for me personally, it was a bit painful. What'd you put?
You gave this one a C? You gave this one a C, because I also, like it's some big reveal, I also gave it a C, but I wrote Chief with the smiley face, because the Chief is back after
Chief returned.
And boy, did he elevate it for the few scenes he was in. He's running the school. I thought that was cute. But everything else, I don't know. I like the idea of a Godfather Ferengi type deal and this whole fiasco of how their business is run. And it kind of makes sense because they keep talking about this Gamma Quadrant. It makes sense that the Ferengi want to establish new relationships over there since they've burned literally every other relationship they have. They brought in the perfect nasally voice actor, Wallace Shawn, to play the Nagus. I thought it was perfectly cast. Some nice moments with Cisco and his son and all that, thinking, oh, this is bad, and you realize Cisco's doing, you said it best at the end, Nog isn't a bad influence on Jake, Jake's a good influence on Nog. But other than that, yeah, everything else just fill in that 44 minutes.
Contract filler, and the things I liked about it, I have enjoyed Quark so far in this series. I'm still not just really, a big fan of the Ferengi in general, but he has been the best Ferengi character, and, for having such a focused Ferengi plot, this is much more Ferengi than we've ever seen in any episode at once, and it, just the fact that it wasn't terrible, it was like serviceable. It was like, okay, for basically my least favorite species of the show, I guess that's a feat that it was, serviceable. Wallace Shawn is a great actor, legendary, and great casting. Also loved the look of the older Ferengi, the hair coming out of the ears.
And the ears don't stop growing, they just keep getting bigger. And so it's like they're starting to hang down and all that.
True, and then the veins all on his head, great. If there's one thing about this show, man, they got a makeup budget. They got a prosthetic budget, and they use it, so credit to them.
Not last episode.
Yeah, whatever. But, it just kind of felt like it just felt like an episode of TV that I didn't care to watch. That's how it felt.
Okay, I get that. I enjoyed some aspects of it. I get the whole Nagus constructing this whole thing as a test for his son, because the whole thing was kind of obvious. Oh, he's going to choose Quark, and Quark's just over there in the corner. It's like, I have picked my successor. Oh, it's going to be Quark, and that's going to be the whole episode. But the why he chose him, I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. But yeah, the Ferengi, when they first came across, were absolutely terrible, because they were all just one note. But I think especially this episode showed the many different notes of the Ferengi. Quark is Quark, but his brother's, slimy. I like the Krax or Krell, the tough guy Ferengi who's trying to, basically say, hey, you better hire me or else I'm going to kill you. And I enjoyed the mafia type dealings happening in it. I don't think I'm coping here. I'm just trying to think of nice.
I mean, it was a
things about
perfectly fine episode.
It was fine.
It was just like it was perfectly fine. I just feel like unfortunately the bar has been so high. And I'm trying to give DS9 some slack because it's, first season of its show, but when we jumped in and I loved a number of episodes, early on, it kind of raised that bar. And I just have to, I feel like these last two episodes have been coming back down to like, okay, all right, here we, it's like, this is the show right now. It'll get better, hopefully. Not that it was bad. It was just like, if I had been a TNG fan and this was the one I turned on, I wouldn't have been like, oh God. I just would have been like, oh, all right. It also came off kind of like a kiddish with the whole Jake storyline, similar to like almost like something like a Boy Meets World, which I love Boy Meets World, but it's not something I'd really want to have in Star Trek. Really, I mean, unless it's done really really well. I don't think it was done that well. I think it was just done again, serviceably. Just see,
Yeah, nothing here was life changing or profound. It was belongs in a much more mediocre type show and would have been very passable. But for this to be in Star Trek, I don't think it needed to be in Star Trek.
Yeah, again, my favorite scene was with Cisco and Dax. In there, when she comes over for the stew, she sees they're having stew, and they talk about it, and she drops the lore about having kids. And it's like, oh, let me hear more about that. But we don't have time in this episode, but it's an interesting drop.
Not this time.
Yeah. So that was probably my favorite scene, of them again. And I love how she's like, I've been a mother and a father, and he's like, which one's easier? I wasn't really successful at either. I'm like, that's funny.
Makes sense. I wonder if Dax, like throughout all 7 lifetimes, has always been a Starfleet person.
Ooh, good point. Good question. Because definitely we know Curzon was, and now I forget this Dax's first name.
Last episode I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember either of them.
I remember Curzon. Jadzia.
Jadzia, yeah.
It's either Jadzia or Jadzia. I don't know if the D or Z comes first.
Jadzia, I think. I like the terminology for Ferengi. When like after the episode's over and he goes to his brother, I didn't think you had the lobes and like you didn't have the balls and their ears or their sexual, feelers. I'm like, okay, that's cute. I like that.
And I like that he tries to kill him and it turns into them bonding over it.
Yeah, it's like, of course. Oh, I'm so glad he did that. It makes sense for the Ferengi. So credit to them.
Also, there were a number of just really funny jokes from the Ferengi. Probably my favorite one is when Cisco is talking to him and then it's either his brother or I think it's his brother that just pops into the camera. He's like, "That's great, Nagus," and then he just fades back out.
Perfect framing for that.
Yeah, David Livingston was the director. Great job.
Yep.
And yeah, that was great. And then what was the other joke they told around the table? There was something they told around the table that we all laughed at, that we both really laughed at. But
during the Ferengi meeting.
Yeah. Oh, and then they're talking about going to the Gamma Quadrant. And he's like, no one will know our reputation. He's like, we'll be able to use our word, and they're like, until we break it again. And they all laugh. Like, that's all good stuff. So there's some funny writing in here.
Yeah, just nothing to the monumental levels that Star Trek has gone to. It's just...
And it was almost like, I get it that the whole Nagus thing is the plot, but it was such a small plot that 30 minutes into the episode, I found myself going, what is the plot here? Like, where are we going? It ends up being, whoa, surprise, the guy's actually alive. That's the twist. But the whole time I'm like, okay, so obviously Quark's going to lose this at some point in this episode. He's not going to remain, the great Nagus. So what are we getting to here? And then the ending was good. The ending twist was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So now we can't even trust that there's a body. Because that's the rule in filmmaking, movies, TV shows. They're not dead if you don't see their body. And then literally we saw the body here. But now we can see a body, but we have to have outside sources confirm they're dead and not just this mute Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, and also, who did they turn into the dust? It was just a decoy?
I think it was just some liquid. I don't know. It's probably nothing.
Cash Wednesday says, this is the litmus test on whether or not you will enjoy Ferengi episodes. I personally can't stand the Nagus, but your mileage may vary. I mean, if this is the litmus test, then I would just say... It sounds like a cop-out, but I feel like I could go either way. Because like this one was so in the middle for me that it being the Ferengi didn't help it. But I liked some stuff about it with the Ferengi. So it's kind of like, let's see what the next plot is. And see if I like how they're used.
Yeah, litmus test in terms of the quantity of how much Ferengi content is there. Or litmus test to the quality of Ferengi episodes. I'm going to guess he or she's referring to the quantity of Ferengi in an episode. And if so, I passed it. BN13, the scene where people are coming to Cork for favors is a direct homage to The Godfather. I heard the crew were playing the Godfather theme on loop during that scene, and the cast and crew got a copy of this episode with the theme dubbed in. That's kind of cool.
That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, that's funny.
Keith S. says the actor who played Ron played Suvak in Captain's Holiday, the same one that Picard punches. This was definitely a step up for him. Definitely has a unique face, yeah. I knew I'd seen it before.
Jay Strong. Dax literally says, I was a bad parent, but this is what I would do. And Cisco is like, okay, that's what I'll do then. And then it turns out Dax only suggested it so she could steal his dinner. What a scene.
That's a good point.
That's pretty good.
From Ian Myers. I fucking hate Grand Nagus Sec.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that strong on it. But I also saw some people in here that really loved it, and I'm not that strong on it either. I think you like it a little bit more than me, but overall, I just felt it was more of like a palate cleanser for the Ferengi, more of like a fresh start maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm open to see what they do with them moving forward, but I'm not their biggest fan outside of Quark still.
Yeah, Quark has definitely done. We definitely had the most time with him, but he's definitely done leaps and bounds to the Ferengi. And I thought this episode was a nice little step in the right direction. We didn't go backwards. We went forwards. Not too far forwards, but we're heading somewhere.
Like I still would like an episode about essentially any other character on this crew before another Quark episode. And it just seems like we've had a lot of Quark already because he's like so involved in everything that goes on.
That is true.
It's like what has Dr. Bashir been up to? What is Kira? Kira's barely done anything this show so far. So yeah, I mean, I hope we shift some focus here and get into some better stuff again.
Yeah, they've really benched Kira, haven't they?